It's carbon fiber. It's 120 millimeters in the front, which is 5 inches of smushiness or suspension or travel. And then 110 in the rear, which is gonna equate to 4.5 inches in the rear. So it also has a pop lock over here. It's a twist. So you twist it one way to lock it. See how it goes like that? And then you push this button and it opens it up. So both of them lock out at the same exact time. Also, it's gonna be SRAM shifting thumb and thumb, okay? So some of people are thinking, oh, why does it have a twist on it? Well, it's still your regular shifting thumb and thumb for SRAM. It's gonna be the Eagle drivetrain, GX, and the bigger this is on the back, basically the easier it is to climb. It's a there's only one gear up front. So in layman's terms, you're in the right gear more often, and there's nothing over here to shift. So you can be focused, and on the downhills, you can basically be ready for the uphills already, being in gear going forward instead of just spinning out, you know. As far as the wheels go, this is wider. This is gonna be a 30 millimeter width rim. So basically that's the distance between where the tire snaps on. Benefit of that is that the wider this rim is right here is that tire is able to splay out more. And so on the ground, it splays out more on the ground, giving you more traction, less kick up on that bike. You can run smaller tires if you want, or you can run even a bigger tire. You can run this one if you want, because this is actually the same width rim. Run this big knobby thing right there. They're actually really similar on the width. It's just it's so knobby, it looks so more aggressive and big. The tire that it comes with is a 2.240, and this is the XR3. If you want to come in and look at this tread, it's not very aggressive. It's pretty thin on the middle, and then it has like little aggressive knobs on the outside. So we're gonna give it a whirl. I've actually only just been kind of dialing it in the parking lot, so I changed a couple things up. We cut the bars. It actually comes with way wider bars. I cut 4 inches off on each side, I believe. That's a lot, but I mean, I've got shorter shoulders. My hands are very, very small, and so I actually had to move the shifting over so I can reach everything. One of the cool things that's all pretty much available on almost any of the higher end bikes, you just twist this right here, and it makes the lever come forward and back. So, it's also an air shock, obviously. It's gonna be a 34 millimeter diameter on this Fox front fork. There's different diameters on all different bikes. You can see like on this is a lot tinier, and obviously the bigger it is, that's what's holding you up, so that's more plush that way. But yeah, so that's gonna be the top fuel. A lot of people ask what's the difference between the top fuel and the Fuel EX. We have the Fuel EX over here. I'm gonna take this off, by the way. So we have the Fuel EX over here. It seems like every year they're adding more and more suspension to every bike. So last year the Fuel EX had 6 inches of travel and 6 inches of travel, which would have been, anyway, 6 and 6. Now they changed it where they added a whole other inch, so it's 7 inches of travel and 6 in the rear. This right here, there's 3 different positions. If you want to come in and fix, there's 3 different positions on the lockout. So it's climb, trail, descend. So right now it's fully open and active on descend, meaning that when you push down on the bike, it's just, you're using all your suspension. Then when you go in the middle, you're not using quite as much. It kind of like stiffens it up a little bit. And that's like a semi lockout where it's locked out and it has like a blow by. So when you do actually hit something, it's gonna actually start acting. If you were to weigh both of these, which we can do in a minute, this has gotta be, that one's probably about 25 pounds. Maybe it might be 25.5, but we just sold a 9.9, which is the top of the line version of the top fuel. And it was an extra large, and it weighed, with pedals, 25.5 pounds. So that's pretty freaking light considering the fact that you're running these big wide tires and that rim, you know? So as far as, they're putting shorter stems on everything, it seems like. But that's kind of like the differences between the two. For our area, which is East Texas, and I think for anywhere, this is, a lot of people aren't racing anymore, but you still get that kind of like the race style feel. but because they're putting bigger tires and bigger width rims on it, and also suspension too. It's kind of like more of an endurance style bike. So I think for our area, a lot of people are going to start doing this now that they've changed it up for 2020.
One question they might have, are the jewels included?
Oh yeah. No, you can get these at like Hobby Lobby, which is amazing. So also too, look, these pedals are candy pedals, which I've always been a candy girl. Like I love candies, like straight up. Basically, like it allows you to shed the mud a lot easier because there's like, it's all open back there. The actual cleat on the bottom, I'm not sure exactly what material it is, but it's super soft. It's almost like a copper. It's probably not, it's something else. But anyways, they do wear out quicker. Like I have to get a new set every year. But the benefit of that cleat is that it's so soft, the metal is so soft that it wears in where you can get in and out even quicker. And then they have the ability for like 1 foot to release like 20 degrees quicker on one side, and then the other one's like 15. So your dominant foot, when you get on and off the bike or when you're starting, one just pops out like way easier than the other. Where the Shimano, it's like, you feel like it's not as easy to get in and out. This one you can be riding your bike in endo and you can kind of clip out like that and step out, or you can clip out front, back, and side. So basically you have more of a chance to get out of your pedals, I feel, than the Shimano's from what I've experienced. So any other questions that you think you want to have? I did put a light on there.
It does have a flare light, but that's your top fuel right here. And this is your fuel EX. Cool colors by Trek this year.
They're really stepping out. These are gorgeous colors. Anybody can have these colors. They don't really necessarily have men's and women's bikes anymore. They're just basically saying, hey, you know, women actually get more choices now because they have this style bike, anything from an extra small all the way up to a, you know, an adult extra large or whatever. One thing I would tell everybody about, I'm 5'2". I'm very short, and I've always ridden a 15.5 or a size small all my life. However, like, I guess bikes are changing, you know, the distances, you know, everything's changing. So I decided to go with a medium because when I tried the small, I was like, ugh. And then the top tube seemed even higher than this right here. So just because you've been a small all your life doesn't mean you're always gonna be a small. I'd recommend trying the medium, which is a 17.5.
So what that means is come to your local bike shop and get sized up.
Yep. And ride local, buy local, it means a lot to our community because we'll help push trails, building trails. I mean, as far as, you know, getting excited and trying to, like Black Hawk and Faulkner and Lindsay, all those trails were actually organized by just regular people. And then where other trails, like State Park's been around forever, but that was actually kind of pushed by a local rider, you know. But every trail has to be, if you find land that's city owned, they're usually in a floodplain anyways. So you gotta have money for bridges and all that. So we're taking donations for bridges, definitely for White House. So, and Tyler too, but debrief on my ride, Maiden Voyage on the Trek Top Fuel 9.8. It is so much different than my other bike. So all this downhill stuff that's real whoopy, this bike is like a rail. It is so stable, I swear. Even if you try to tump it over, I don't think it's ever going to tump over. It's not as whippy as like a race style bike, but on the downhills you can still be pedaling, which I usually just kind of like, I'm working the sections like crazy. Now I can just like stay in a straight line. It's very bizarre. So now I understand, like when I look at all these other people riding, I'm like, y'all are sitting so weird and just not, I don't know, and pedaling and going faster than me. So now I feel faster. Was I faster on the downhills?
She was
because of the bike. But it is
trying to keep up with
it
me.
Is the tires are a lot, because it's a 9.8. It is, the tires are heavier than my other bike.
You had to be faster on one section because I pushed you.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'll probably be getting some of the top of the line versions that kind of come on the Pro Caliber one day, and then use those as my training wheels. But yeah, I can definitely see how this style bike, and I think I can a little bit understand why you guys can just bomb down these hills and not be afraid. And the brakes are like phenomenal.
Don't eat one of those.
I'm not eating it. I'm putting it up. I'm getting it out of my pocket. He's like, don't eat that. I'm like, why would I eat that? It's gross.
Anyways, so the brakes, I used to use my front brake constantly. Now I can use my back brake, and it doesn't seem like it's too much. Like, you know, on my other bike, when I would brake, it'd like fishtail out on the rear, because I guess it was too much
Take that off.
brake. All right, peace, y'all. We're gonna ride tomorrow.